Christa, it's great to have you on the She Can platform. I'm really delighted to be talking to you about your journey in this world. Tell us, who are you?
Thank you, Steffi. I'm so excited to be on She Can today. It's so much fun. So my name is Christa Carr, and I'm Communications Director at the Philip Johnson Glass House, which is a site of the National Trust for Historic Preservation in New Canaan, Connecticut.
Excellent. Tell us a little bit who you are. What are your interests outside of work? I know you're a mom. You have lots of different
Yeah,
roles.
I'm a mom. I have three children, ages 13, 9, and 6, so quite busy in that field.
Yeah.
And then also I worked in the art world. I'm involved for like my whole life in the arts, from one different part of the profession to the other. So it's been quite fun adventure. And I also I don't know, enjoy traveling when I can, not right now, obviously, but virtually.
Great. Krista, explain us a little bit more what you do, what that means, what you sort of do on a daily basis.
Yeah, so as a communications director at the Glass House, so we're a historic site. So I make sure that we share all our information and also stories with the outside world. We like to increase our tourism to the site. And if right now, for example, we can't, we do online programming. But basically, there are many different ways that we can share the story and also try to inspire new generations. So we also inspire new generations of designers. Like we had Philip Lim visit a few weeks ago, actually. So we're still doing grounds visits, and we do photo shoots, and we work with artists, and we do installations on the site on a seasonal basis. And then we get visitors and students from all backgrounds that are interested in architecture, but also the historic time of the mid-century modern. That's what we're all about, built in 1949 by architect Philip Johnson.
Yeah, sounds amazing. So you seem to have done very well in these challenging times of bringing a program online. How
Yes.
do you do that?
Well, that's thanks to collaboration. So, it's like thinking about what would people like to know from home? How can they experience a museum from home? So, figuring out ways that they can actually enjoy the visual. A lot of what people love about the Glass House is that it's a 49-acre site and the landscape is absolutely stunning. And we have 4 seasons. So, we really try to show that and convey that through videography and through photography to the outside world. And then we also do programming on different aspects of the art collection. Since it's 20th century art, we also work with a lot of designers like the Albers Foundation, which is also in Connecticut. And so we try to tell the story, and we also like to see how that applies to the generation today. So we try to share that.
And you do an outreach program, it seems, with younger people. So you invite school classes.
Yes, so we have students, we have Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, we have our architecture students, we have regular students, or anyone really. It's also a really relaxing place to walk around, especially now when you just want to sit down, and the buildings are really beautifully laid out on the property so that they're in different shapes that are very vernacular. And so the whole story of the 1949 till 2005 of architecture that Philip Johnson designed really sort of inspires, and it blends in with the landscape as well.
What is your most successful communications channel that you use?
That's interesting to say. I would say definitely right now it's been through Instagram, and social media has been really fantastic as far as reaching people quickly and also getting messages back. So I've had so much feedback, and I'm regularly engaged with also visitors who share their experience on their platforms and then tag us, or that way we can reshare it, or we can see how they enjoy it. Tonight, actually, we have a American Ballet Theater premiere. We had one ballet principal ballerina, which is David Halberg, actually, who came and he did a performance just for people. So it was socially distanced, and that was filmed. So there are many different ways that we can reach people on the site through the arts, and just through just walking around, enjoying it.
Super interesting. I remember my
Yeah.
visit there many years ago. Christa, tell us a little bit how you got to where you are today. Tell us a little bit, really start where you went to school. What was the journey to get to where you are today?
Thank you, Steph. So, well, it was a kind of a journey that I didn't really have planned out, in the sense that I love the arts. At first, I'd started off really early on. I actually did 1 year as a soil scientist, which was definitely not my thing. Although I loved the subject, I'm just not very good at being in the lab all day. But I switched to international relations and political science at Boston College. And then through there, I actually took so many more cultural courses. I went to Paris for a year, and I realized actually there was a profession in the art world, which to me I just couldn't believe, because art is so much fun and I love it. So it was, after that, I didn't go to law school. Instead, I went to Christie's and I did an internship, and then I went back to London to study, or to London actually, to study art history, and did the graduate training course at Christie's, which was a fantastic course, which really gave me a great grounding for the arts. And then after working there for many years, which I loved, and I got incredible training, I realized that there are other things you can do. And I worked for the Rothschild family for 2 years while they were, Lord Rothschild was chairman of Somerset House. So that exposed me to all the programming and working with curators, which I didn't know about that world. And I didn't know much about the preservation and about being a patron. So that was really exciting.
Yeah.
And then went on to work with Benedict Taschen, which was another opportunity. And with Taschen Publishing, I was basically trained to do communications. And there I really did not, I was not used to working with journalists and all that. So it combined the great content and experience of culture with also having some, training in communications, working with the press. And I went on to do a course in communications. And then thanks to Benedict Taschen, I was exposed to architecture, which I had not really thought about much other than learning, through the ages in art history, but especially appreciating mid-century modern architecture. And I also worked with some architects with promoting their books. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Christa. That's really an interesting journey, and it makes so much sense how it all came to what you do today. What motivates you in all of this?
Well, what motivates me, of course, is my family, which my growing family that I had during this whole journey, and I think about every day. And I also really love to work in what I believe in, and what makes me excited. And I really recommend that. I think that having moved around a lot in my life and being half French, half American, I really feel that culture is a great language barrier and a way to kind of understand other cultures, sometimes better than just learning the language. And I think that we all share culture. Culture can be an experience that everyone can enjoy. It's a way of being inclusive when you visit and you have access. It also gives you a literacy in history, which is important. And so I really, really just love how culture crosses boundaries and really can help explain a lot and also inspire for the future. And it's very important.
I agree, Christa. Thank you. That's a great, great feedback. What do you think is your secret?
Sure, you're so sweet. I definitely love to do many things. I feel that it's important to follow your passion. It's important to, every year I sort of think, what is it that I want to learn this year? Also, you must listen to what comes your way, because sometimes that brings you to another journey or to learn more. So it's really important to have a combination of listening and seeing what is out there, but also connecting with many generations. That's one thing I also try to do. I love working with all generations and listening to what's important to them, and learning new skills. I think it's really important to always wonder, what is it that I can learn this year, and to also just make it fun. It has to be fun, and it can be fun what you do. And I definitely recommend following one's passion, because that way, when you're working or whatever you're doing every day, it's really not it doesn't feel like it's working at all.
I agree. Oh, Christa, thank you so much. That was really
Thank you,
a
Steffi.
great story to listen to. And as I've witnessed a lot of your journey, I'm very thankful that you are telling other girls in the world now, and to help us build up an online library of female role models. And you're a great role model. So thank you so
Oh,
much for
thank you,
sharing
Steffi.
your
Thank you.
story with us.
Thank you very much for having me today. It's wonderful.